What's going on, y'all? It's Sean, owner and lead tutor of Math Swap Tutoring, and I have a few tips that I want to give you for studying. Now, like I always try to stress, I could tell you all kind of stuff. I could give you the best tips in the world, but if you don't use them, then to be honest, maybe maybe you don't even need to watch the video. Like if you really want to learn how to study, then I strongly recommend that you at least try some of these things, okay? Because these are things that I know have helped me to study not only for math but for other school subjects, and I believe that they could possibly help you. I mean, we're all different, but they still could possibly help. Just kind of try and see what works for you. All right. All right. So, and these tips are not in order of effectiveness. Like I don't know what will be the best tip for you, but I'm letting you know the things that work for me. And I want to give a shout out to my friend Cam, who also kind of like helped me come up with some thoughts about this video. All right. So the first tip I want to give you is when it comes to math, you need to work a whole lot of problems. You need to work lots of problems. Okay. Basically, math is kind of like a sport. It's like practice. Your brain kind of needs exercise to kind of keep on going through um, exercises, problems over and over and over again. Sometimes when you just do, like you might just do one assignment from school or something like that, that might not be enough. You might need to get as many problems as you can and as you have time for and work them over and over and over again. Or you could even go back and get the same problems and work those over and over again. Even if it's the same problems, go through each step, every single step over and over again. And what happens is your brain will start to get used to it. Again, this will be helpful if you actually use it. Okay. If you don't use it, if you just listen to this and think, oh, it's a good idea, and you don't do anything with it, then of course it's not going to help. But this is for those of you who are serious about improving in math. Work lots of problems, whatever you can get your hands on. And if it's just the problems that you have, do those over and over again. All right. The second tip that I want to give is do not be afraid to ask lots of questions. Don't be afraid to ask a whole lot of questions. Ask your teacher a lot of questions about, how to do a problem or whatever your questions are with your math work. Ask a whole lot of questions, because the thing is, really asking questions is the way that you really learn a lot in life anyway. Even me as an engineer, the way that I was successful as an engineer is that I always asked a whole lot of questions. When I did not know something, I asked a lot of questions. If I didn't ask questions, then a lot of times I would have to go into some book or some manual myself and learn, and that's pretty hard, especially when you don't really know what you're looking for. So ask your teacher lots of questions, ask your parent a lot of questions, ask your tutor. I mean, maybe your tutor might be me. But ask your tutor a lot of questions. Ask a whole lot of questions. No, like they always say, no question is a dumb question. And the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask. Okay. So ask lots and lots of questions, because that's literally, if you can get those questions in your mind answered, then you're going to know how to do it. It makes sense, right? And the last tip I want to give in this video, and it sounds kind of weird. I've heard this even a long time ago, and I never really tried it. But for real, one of the best things you can do is actually try to teach whatever it is that you're learning. Try to teach the math topic that you're trying to learn. It seems counterintuitive, kind of like, how in the world can I teach something I don't know? It's kind of weird, but it works somehow. I don't know the science behind it, but if you actually try to teach whatever it is that you're trying to understand, whatever math you're trying to understand, some kind of way, it helps your brain to engage with it a different kind of way, and it helps you to learn it. Like I said, I promise you it works. Case in point, me tutoring. So, I mean, obviously, pretty much all the math that I tutor, I've done in some way, shape, or form before. As an engineer, I had to take a ton of math. while I was in school. But anyhow, I find that when I come back and I teach the math to you or whoever it is that I'm tutoring, then it actually somehow is even clearer. I find myself a lot of times being like, oh, okay, now I kind of understand this stuff. Like now I actually understand it. I think, whereas maybe before I might have understood in some of the situations, understood enough to get the grade. Now, especially after I teach it and I see the explanation, it's like, oh, now I understand exactly what they were trying to say. Okay. So I challenge you to do that. Try to teach yourself, try to teach somebody else. Maybe teach your mom and dad or something like that, or a friend in your class or something. Excuse me, sorry. So yeah, so basically work a lot of problems. You also want to ask a lot of questions, and also try to teach the math that you're having a problem with. Again, sounds counterintuitive, but you might be surprised. Okay. All right, y'all. This is Sean from Math Swap Tutoring, the owner and lead tutor. Make sure that you go to mathswaptutoring.com and subscribe so that you can get our free downloadable math notes. For those, they're the notes that I develop whenever I tutor students, and I just make PDFs and put them on my website, and they're free to anybody who subscribes. And if you're looking for tutoring, look for us. Again, mathswaptutoring.com, and also make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel because I will be putting up more videos. All right, y'all. All right, take care.